Guys, so I am back again. I am to the end of my June monthly budget. So I have week 5. I just did week 5. It hasn't even uploaded yet, but I could not wait, so I needed to figure this out. My fixed amounts in my budget they actually are very fixed. They don't change very much at all. There's like a little bit of fluctuation with water. My solar is a rental fee that is $0 solar, so that doesn't change. We really don't change that much in water. The propane doesn't change much, the cash doesn't change much, and the others don't change at all. So they fluctuate like a tiny little bit, but these are actually really true numbers right here. So I definitely need $1,575 a month to take care of everything that's the most important. These are very fluctuating categories. They can fluctuate wildly actually, so that's why they're there. And then my sinking funds over here. So we're going to talk about my fixed right now. So the way I make fixed work for me is I leave all of my money for my fixed bills in my bank account. So I broke this down for you guys. So June 1st, my starting balance of my bank account was $1,600. So I had $1,600 saved up because I actually need to pay a whole bunch of my bills on the 1st of the month. So this would not work to do a weekly budget when I pull out my, where's my week 1? Let me get it for you guys. Here we go. So week 1 of June, when I only have $539 coming in, there is no way I could pay all these bills, $650, $125, $75, $75, and $45. That is all due on the 1st of the month. So I had to get a buffer, a month saved up in advance in my bank account so I could start, and I never really discussed that. So that's a really important key feature I left out, is you do need to have 1 month worth of at least your fixed in set aside so that you can start your budgeting and your cash rolling and your cash stuffing, because I would just need to pull all of the money right back out of my binders to pay these bills on the 1st of the month. So I started with $1,600, and right on the 1st of the month I actually had my first paycheck, so I deposited $315 in there right away, and it turns to $1,915. So when all of that came out, I was still sitting at $945, which was very comfortable and nothing to worry about. Had 2 more deposits before I had to pay my car payment. So it seems to be actually, it gives you peace of mind that you know that you have an entire month of bills in order. And now that I'm back to my last deposit of $315, I'm back to $1,600 in this bank account. And July 1st, I will owe all of this again, but I'm not paid until July 2nd. So I thank God I already have this $1,600 in here, so I can make all these payments and it will be fine. So just wanted to explain how I make that work. So now we're moving on to the flexible. And flexible is where I messed up a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna call it a mess up really. This is a learning curve for me to actually break down and actually work out a budget. I say I budgeted before, but basically I just put money into my bank account and didn't overspend. And as long as I didn't go negative on my bank account, or I was able to pay my credit cards off before they're due, I thought I was staying within my budget. I thought I'm doing great. So now that I have an actual written every dollar budget, I'm seeing that I am a little bit more loose than I thought, even though I was trying to be so tight. So gas, I really can't do much about gas because I do have a driving job and I do have to put gas in to be able to drive. If I don't put gas in my tank, then I cannot go anywhere and I cannot make any money. So I gave myself a $500 budget for gas, and I ended up spending $596.94, which is over by $96.94. Groceries, I did an $800 budget. I spent $811.15, going over by $11.15. pets, I did a $35 budget. I only spent $28.91, but that's because my pets actually do eat their food quite slow. I feel like they actually take like 6 weeks or so to go through the bag of food. And so I have litter and food and incidentals, and then I will have vet bills too. So I do not want to shrink this category by any means. I probably want to grow it. I probably need to grow most of these. I need to grow my flexible so that it's more flexible. But shopping, I gave myself 50 and I went 51.52, so I went over by $1.52. Household, I gave myself 35 and I spent 33.75, so I was under by $1.25. Maintenance, I had given myself 40 and I spent 50.15, so I was over by 10.15. So these categories all together put me over budget by $119.76. So that was my credit card bill. I explained this last time, but let me explain it again. So when I'm buying gas, I don't actually use cash to buy gas. I use my credit card because I get 4% cash back on my credit card for every gas purchase. So that's important to me. So I use my credit card, and sometimes my bill may be like $56.10. So I actually I'm intending to put in $50, whatever I have in my budget for gas. I have the $50 in my budget for gas, and I'm intending to put in $50, but my tank takes $56. I let that $6.10 go onto my credit card and stay there. I do give the $50 back to my credit card out of the gas, but I let the other roll over, and then I have a category for credit cards. So on here I have a category for credit cards. Let me find, this is budget number 1. I need number 5. So there we go. So on here I have a category for credit cards. I had $75 per month for credit cards. I think I'm gonna have to bump that up. But that, it just covers everything that I let roll over. And so now that I've had that long-winded explanation of how I'm going to make this work, let's start making this work. All right, so I went over by $97 on gas. I'm gonna take the 75 from the credit card that I intended and budgeted for this exact purpose, but that still leaves me owing $22 in gas. So I'm gonna take the other $22 from unexpected bills or surprise bills. Let me see, is that in this binder? No, that is in my black binder. So surprise bills are in here. So I actually did stick the credit card money back in. That's in this binder. I stuck the credit card money back in. I had taken it out last week because I was getting ready to pay that credit card bill, but just for the purpose of showing you, explaining to you how this works, I do have my $75 back in here. So $75. So I'm going to start by doing that. So I'm going to take out the $75 that I owe. Let me stick it, get this out of the way. And I'm just going to stick that in here. All right, so the gas still needs $22, and I am going to get it from emergency bills. Surprise bills. So I'm going to take $22 out of surprise bills, and of course it doesn't have any ones. So I do have my new $1 savings challenge back here. And I'm gonna have to cash a 5 into my $1 savings challenge. If I can get it open. I can never get these open. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm gonna stick this 5 in here, even though it's a $1 savings challenge. Oh well. All right, so take that and give that to bills. And now, how much did I say I needed? I needed $22 out of here. So we're gonna take 2 10s and 2 1s. And we still have $13 left. So since I'm gonna get scatterbrained and not be able to figure this out later, I am gonna do the tracker right now. All right, and I'm gonna say gas, and I'm going to say that I took out 22 and I left behind 13, correct? Yep, 13. All right. And that is going to pay my credit card back for all of the gas that I overspent on. All right, gas, there we go. Next, we have groceries. I overspent $12 on groceries, and I'm gonna find that by pulling out of my eating out budget. So we don't actually eat out very much, but I'm building the eating out budget. So I figured it would be the perfect place to get that from. Oh, I don't have eating out in here either. I gotta learn where I have these categories, don't I? So I'm gonna pull that out of my eating out. And in eating out, what did I need to pull out? $12. I bet I need to break something and get some ones again, don't I? I do. Okay. Let's see if I can break another 5 into the $1 savings challenge. My $1 savings challenge is going to be full of 5s by the end of the night. All right. So my $1 savings challenge is actually a new folder that I just added yesterday. And I want to be able to have an extra buffer for things like this without pulling out of a weird spot, like pulling out of miscellaneous savings or anything. I have the challenge and miscellaneous savings and my surprise bills to make up for things like this. So here we go. We have the $5 and change, and that is going to go into dining out wherever it went. There we go. And we want to give $12. So take 2 5s and 2 1s. And we're going to have 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 left. Let me take this tracker out of here. Start eating out. And let's say groceries needed $12. All right. Wait. I have 18 left over, not 13. All right, there we go. Help if I write the right numbers in here. I'm saying that I need to update my trackers so that I'm in order, but I won't be in order if I don't write the right numbers. All right, so next down is shopping. So shopping category, overspent by $2. And I was gonna take that from hobbies. And I'm literally gonna take it from hobbies because that's where I should have taken it to start with. I don't know if you were here last week, but there was a point last week where I was like, oh, I actually bought something out of hobbies, but I had only brought this binder with me to town. I didn't have this one, and I wanted to buy something for hobbies. So I spent like $1.60, $1.75, something like that out of my regular spending. And it was a hobby thing. And then I ended up going over in my shopping category by $1.52, which is hilarious. Like every penny does actually matter, because if I would have taken it out of hobbies like I'm supposed to, my shopping would have been perfect, or maybe 11 cents over or something like that. I don't even know if it would have been anything over. But so I'm going to take the $2 from hobbies to make up for the shopping amount. Let's see, I didn't put these in here. All right, to make up for the shopping amount, and I do need to write that down on here or I will be off by $2. All right. And shopping got $2, so this is now 20. Okay. And last but not least, car maintenance. I had to get an oil change, and my oil change, we actually do it ourselves. So the oil change is normally only like $32 or so for the oil, but this time I needed a filter, and so that's how it ended up costing $50.15 was for the oil plus the filter. So I need to give from Surprise Bills a $10 bill. Well, I don't know if I have a $10 bill, but 2 5s will work. So $10 from Surprise Bills to pay back maintenance. And let's see, we will say and we only have $3 left in Surprise Bills. That seems right. I'm so thankful for this category. Surprise Bills has surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, saved my patootie. All right, so that should be $121 pulled out of here to give to my credit card so that I do not hold a balance on my card. Now let's see what I got here. Okay. I'll just straighten all my money, sorry. I can't even count it if it's not straight. And I like to count big bill first. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, 131. All right, so I messed up somehow because I have $131 out here. I'm gonna have to watch my own video and find out what I did wrong. Let's see here. I can count it again though. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121. Okay, so I just counted it wrong the first time. So let's start completely over for like the third time. And I'm going to say, okay, I should have $121 that I've pulled out of my binders. So pay back my credit card, and I will go 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121. Okay, perfect. So that belongs to my credit card. And so I'm going to take this and put that in debt. And then I will be able to pay my credit card off, and I will be a very happy budgeter. I am really actually loving the whole $0 budget thing, because I used to then take any leftover money and just willy-nilly spend it without even paying attention. And now I keep leaving it in my binders because I like to have it there. So I did do a little bit more on this. I'm doing like a June budget closeout, I guess is what I would call it, or wrap up. And so I've now worked all that out and wrapped all that up, but I need to adjust for next month. So July, I need to change my budget. Since I did overspend in those categories, I need to adjust so that I don't overspend this month. So my June fixed was the $1,575, and what I actually spent was $1,567. So that was actually $8 less than budgeted, but that is perfect. That I love having that little bit of a buffer there, because we do fluctuate. Like I was saying, water could cost a tiny bit more, trash could cost a tiny bit more, or it could cost less, but it is pretty regular. We don't change much. But my flexible budget, so I had budgeted $1,535. I had actually budgeted less than this, but I added a little bit more mid-month just to bump up my credit card, because I think I had only budgeted the credit card to $50, so I bumped it up to $75 because I could tell I was adding enough to the credit card to be over $50. So my actual spend was $1,572.42. which put me over budget by $37.42. But that, because it was broken down in the different categories, I'll show you the $37.42, because I went under and over on the different budgets. Like I had $6.09 left here, but I can't just take it and roll it into another category. I want to leave it and let it roll over to use for pets later. So my budget of the amounts that I went over, it was over by $44.76. And then I roll up on the dollar. So we ended up, instead of pulling out the exact 76 cents and everything, I round up to the dollar. And so we pulled out $121 after the 75 and 44, which was probably 45. So to work that out, I don't want to do it with the change and everything. That I'll just round up. So for July's flexible, I'm changing my gas to $600 because $500 was not enough. $600 was barely enough. I spent $596.94. So $600 sounds good. I'm leaving the groceries at $800. We did go over by $11, but I need to just work on that, and I need to get myself under $800 for a month of groceries. I know we can do it. Pets is now getting $40 because, like I said, it should cover things like annual pet visits, maybe even pet emergencies, or maybe that would go on the emergency fund. I'm not sure, but $40 is probably a good amount to put away per month. Shopping gets $50, and it was already at $50, and I went over by a tiny bit, but I went over by that tiny bit stealing from shopping to pay for hobbies. So now that I got that worked out, like I would have been exactly on budget. Household was $35. I'm bumping it up to $40 just because everything, the economy, everything costs so much more than it used to. Just the toilet paper and tin foil and toothpaste and things. $35 isn't quite enough for a month. And maintenance, I was sitting at $40 and I bumped it up to $45 just for the same type of thing. So it's not even just car maintenance, it's household maintenance too. You never know what can pop up. And I probably want to bump this up even more because my car is getting older and I constantly have some sort of maintenance going on, it seems like. So that makes my new total $1,575 also. So I have $1,575 plus $1,575 gives me a new total of $3,150. So I actually started to break things down, and I think I changed it even a little bit more. Did I change this? Oh no, I forgot the credit card on here. So my credit card isn't listed on here. So my new total for Flex is going to be $1,675, and this will be $3,250. Let's see, let's change those numbers. All right, because I didn't have the $100 for the credit card on there. So this is just a quick once over of everything that did happen this month. I got 5 paychecks. I got a total of $3,368 for this month. My fixed bills were $1,575. When I took that away, I had left $1,793 to spend on everything that wasn't fixed. So for my flexibles, I ended up spending $1,572.42, and that left $220.58. So that's what I ended up getting to sink into my sinking funds this month. I will have less next month if I earn the same amount because I bumped this budget up. So bumping this budget up will help me feel better. Like I don't want to feel guilty when I bump out of a category, and things like gas was driving me crazy because there was literally nothing I could do about it, and I was watching little bits add up on the credit card, and they weren't so little anymore. I was trying to break my gas down into like $35 at a time, and a lot of times I was putting more like $40 or $45 in, and calling it 35, but paying back 35 in gas to my account to keep myself in this $500 budget. But that was just, it wasn't working. So $600 is the new budget for next month, and we'll hope that, fingers crossed, we can just stay in budget and everything will work out perfect, and I will have so many zeros on my next budget I won't know what to do. But thank you guys so much for coming and listening to me explain how I do my budget, and I will be back again soon with my week 1 budget for July. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye bye.